From the depths of a forgotten past, an ancient power stirs in the shadows. A legion lurks, heralding a new cycle of destruction, an age of war where hope is but a distant whisper. In their eyes, the empty promise of annihilation. A world plunged into darkness, humans and monsters locked in a deadly dance. An endless war, the world teetering on the brink. A legacy of hatred and despair. A millennium ago, amidst the chaos, a king wielded the power of runes. With a sacrifice, the ancestor of monsters was imprisoned, sealing away the darkness. Now, Anders charts a new course, seeking to master the power of the runes, the 5 great families, guardians of an ancient legacy, and amidst intrigues and secrets, a nun holds the key to the future. In Shadowthorn, a person's worth is measured by the power they possess. 9 runes, a symbol of unity. An uncertain future awaits the chosen ones. But time has passed, and the world has changed. Destiny is about to knock, forever transforming the life of a simple clerk. A guy walks in, smoking, with a look of disgust on his face. He asks for a smoke, but the price is $50. He acts like it's an insult. He thinks he's all that, laughing in the face of danger. Ha! Some nobody, with 1 rune, dared to charge him. Him who risks his neck against monsters while others in his eyes are just worthless. He stomps his foot to show who's boss. The law here is clear. Those with more power step on the others. Simple as that. His patience has run out. He starts yelling for the boss, looking for trouble. Another guy tries to pour oil on troubled waters to calm the beast. But it seems it's too late. The bomb is about to explode. He demands the clerk's head. Some low-level 1-rune guy should never have charged him. He shouts that he never wants to see that kid's face again. And that's the message. The humiliation happens right there. Later, in the locker room, the seedy side of this world is on full display. Friendship appears in the most difficult hour. A colleague decides to quit to take the heat off the protagonist, his buddy's son. He explains that this happens all the time. Guys with high runes think others are trash. That was their harsh reality. The protagonist thanks his colleague, his buddy's son, and he hands over the pay for the last weeks, in a gesture of gratitude and camaraderie, and now he heads towards the future. A little down, poor guy, with his head spinning. But life goes on, right? A familiar person appears, bringing a little light to the end of his complicated tunnel. It's his sister, all excited. Brother. He asks if she waited long. She replies that she didn't, with a smile on her face. She tells the news. She sold some drawings and earned 1,000 yuans. Now she can help with the money, so he doesn't have to work so hard. But he tells her to relax, that her health is more important, and the money-making part is for him to handle. They head off, and he suggests getting ice cream to celebrate, but she quickly declines, reminding him that cold food doesn't sit well with her. He insists, though. Just 1 bite, it won't hurt. He's already ordering a strawberry ice cream from the vendor. The guy says it'll be right up. She offers him some, and he jokes that he's not a kid anymore. The girl says neither is she, but they keep enjoying the ice cream, giving each other sheepish smiles. He thinks to himself that the conversation about getting fired can wait until they get home. For now, they just enjoy the moment. Suddenly, a deafening noise shatters the calm of the street. Everyone stops in their tracks, eyes widen, searching for the source of that bizarre sound. Out of nowhere, a sinister creature explodes onto the street, scattering cars. Run, monsters! Panic erupts. He quickly grabs his sister and realizes, wait a minute, wasn't that the area protected by the Jong family? While everyone's screaming to run for the shelter, he wonders if those guys shouldn't be safe here. After all, this was supposed to be a safe place. Her ice cream falls to the ground, the shock is intense, and the race is on. The poor girl starts coughing. The running is taking its toll on her. He yells for her to hang in there. Then he scoops her up, carrying her to safety. He finds the whole thing strange. It's the first time he's ever heard of monsters invading a protected zone. Something's definitely wrong. The Jong family is one of the 5 great families that inherited the power of King Yo. That beast seems to be just the tip of the iceberg. So how the heck did these monsters invade their territory? The question keeps swirling in his head as he runs with his sister in his arms. Things are getting dark. They need to be careful, but the priority now is to get Lin Lin to a safe place. They finally reach the Jong family base, a huge building that's supposed to be a safe haven. But there's a chaotic scene at the door. No one's getting in. And suddenly he sees Mrs. Zhang, a familiar face among the crowd. Auntie Zhang, why isn't anyone getting in? Desperation sets in. Everyone starts pushing and shoving at the door. And someone shouts, what's the deal? Everyone starts getting testy. Some yell that he's not going to cut in line just because he thinks he's better than them. Then a slick-back guy from the Jong family shows up to lay down the law. Speaking loud enough for everyone to hear, he commands with his arms crossed. He drops the bomb. The shelter has limited space. Only those with 3 runes or more can enter. Everyone's in shock. What? No one below 3 runes? That's insane. No one wants to die here. They beg to be let in. Then some wannabes try to stir things up, saying to push him. He can't stop everyone. The chaos only intensifies, man. The slick-back guy tries to calm things down, speaking loud enough for everyone to hear. After all, if everyone crowds in here, the monsters will attack all at once, and the shelter won't hold. But the protagonist tries to be the voice of reason, shouting that this is the Jong family's place. They need to hold out until reinforcements arrive. The slick-back guy doesn't like that one bit. "Oh, look who thinks he's so smart. If you know so much, why don't you go out there and distract the monsters yourself, you loser?" He continues to jab. "Oh, I get it. You're just a one-rune nobody who can't get in and wants to drag everyone down with you, right?" A guy in the crowd points at the protagonist, agreeing with the accusation. The crowd starts too. The crowd starts buying into it, and they turn on the other guy, accusing him. The other guy panics. "Hey, you think I don't want to survive too? I have 3 runes. Let me in." The slick-back guy smirks. 3 runes? Ah, we're screwed anyway. Who cares how many runes he has? He's already throwing in the towel. The argument escalates. Panic fills the air. The protagonist observes everything. He makes a difficult decision. "All right, I'll lure the monsters away and let everyone in, whether he's brave or crazy." He turns to Auntie Zhang, the woman who always looked after them. "Auntie Zhang, you've always taken care of me and my sister. I trust him now." He turns to the slick-back guy again and asks if he'll open the shelter now. The guy goes pale and swallows hard. He starts stuttering, not knowing what to do or say. But the protagonist doesn't let up. Is he really going to back down? Is he going to let everyone die here? Everyone starts commenting that the guy doesn't want to open the door and that he only has 4 runes while they are many. Now the Zhang family guy is sweating, feeling the pressure of the crowd, and maybe a flicker of conscience. The slick-back guy yells for the guards to get out of the way and let everyone in. But before disappearing inside, he gives the protagonist a look that says, "You're screwed." He threatens Lin Lin and Auntie Zhang with his eyes. Lin Lin and Auntie Zhang watch everything with their hearts in their throats, the poor things. Everyone rushes desperately inside the shelter, and he's left alone, facing the approaching danger. The gates close, sealing off the only escape route. Now it's him against whatever comes. Outside, the city is in chaos. The giant monster continues its trail of destruction across the rooftops. He senses a sinister presence in the air, imminent danger. They've arrived. And there he is, the monster's ugly face staring down at the city from above. A nightmare is just beginning. Someone shouts from below, calling out to the monster. "Hey, monster, over here." The beast turns its ugly face towards him instantly. Looks like the bait worked, and here it comes. Leaping straight at the madman, now things get real. He runs with his head spinning, thinking something's off. If the monsters get in, maybe even the shelter isn't safe. Suddenly, he has some crazy thoughts. So what if he's just a 1-rune or no-rune guy? In a world where the 9-rune elite rule, they're worthless. Suddenly, he sees the image of his little sister, defenseless. The reason for all this madness? He thinks about Lin Lin and clenches his fists, thinking he has to risk everything. The chase begins. He runs like never before through the alleys, with the monster on his tail, the sound of its paws echoing through the city. He loses the beast for a moment, hiding behind some trash cans. He starts running again, thinking the Jong family is taking too long to show up. Will reinforcements ever arrive? But the monster seems to have picked up his scent, sniffing the air with its red eyes searching for any movement. He watches from hiding, his brain working fast. That thing looks like a wolf spider. They hunt by sight and vibrations. He tries to calm down a bit, telling himself that a strategy is starting to form. Out of nowhere, a surprise attack. A purple blast tears through the night straight at the monster. The sound of the energy crackles in the air, a sign that things are getting serious. A blue lightning bolt rains down. The monster takes a direct hit to its hide from above. And who appears in the blue light? A mysterious woman ready for a fight. But she's all business, holding a wicked-looking weapon that pulses with blue energy. She doesn't waste any time and goes on the offensive, her weapon singing with attacks against the beast. She does a stylish leap, with blue energy exploding around her as she prepares another strike. The tip of her weapon glows brightly. A giant blue dragon made of pure light appears behind her. She hovers in the air with an imposing blue dragon behind her. The scene is breathtaking. The energy dragon lets out a roar that makes everything tremble. Things are about to get ugly for the spider monster. The energy dragon goes all out against the beast, and the impact is brutal. A blinding blue light covers the entire monster. Pure power. Boom. The energy explosion kicks up dust everywhere. Is it over for the beast? He stares through the haze, trying to see what's left of the monster. The woman lands close by while the blue energy fades. Suddenly, she looks at him, concerned, and asks if he's hurt. He starts to notice her outfit and the mark on her thigh. 6 runes. A 6 rune? Ah, this girl must be elite Jong family. He thinks, still feeling a little awkward. He says he's fine and starts to explain, but then a pain, coupled with exhaustion, hits. He spoke too soon. The beast rises from the rubble, battered, but still standing. She can't believe it. Still alive? Then kill it again. While he just watches from a distance, she glances back at him, confused, wondering what this guy's looking at. The beast is on its feet, ready for another round. It's not over yet. Out of nowhere, a strange mark appears on his forehead. He starts screaming, clutching his head as if it's about to explode. and the girl doesn't understand anything. What's wrong? She tries to approach him to help, but he's completely out of it. She manages to grab his wrist, trying to hold him steady. The moment she touches him, she feels something sinister, and her expression changes completely. A golden energy starts to pour out of him, scary as hell. The energy explodes. He's covered in a blinding golden light, screaming in pain or whatever. That golden energy pulsates stronger and stronger. The sound of the energy becomes deafening. Things are getting out of control. An explosion of golden light blinds everyone. The accumulated energy shoots into the sky and hits a building in the distance with full force. Even the monster is watching in surprise at the destruction. That golden energy takes over. Horns start to grow. His hands glow with absolute power. The transformation is now complete. He floats with a new outfit and everything glowing golden. What happened to him? The big monster down below just stares up, perhaps sensing that things have gotten serious. He rises higher, facing the beast from above. Even a tail of golden energy appears behind him. His face is terribly different. Golden eyes, horns. The face of someone who isn't playing around. He already whips the monster with the tail. The power only increases. A gigantic golden dragon aura explodes around him. He looks at his hands, still in disbelief. Ah, is this a blue dragon? Can he really use her powers? Then the cutesy version of the warrior appears to explain. Yeah, I don't know why we merged, but you can use my abilities even better than me. He doesn't understand anything, but there's no time for that. He doesn't know what's happening, but he's going to deal with that monster first. The fight is the priority. He raises his hand, and the golden dragon obeys his newfound power. He floats in the golden light, looking like a god. The energy is insane. The sky turns golden, thousands of rays of light rain down. The monster looks up, sensing that things have gotten really hot and that it's over for him. With a single gesture, he commands the attack. Swords made of pure golden light appear, aimed at the beast. The swords descend at high speed and pierce the monster, completely breaking its defense as if it were paper. The monster continues to roar from below, riddled with golden swords impaled throughout its body. But the protagonist extends his hand, which begins to glow, and then clenches it shut, detonating all the swords that were in the monster's body, utterly obliterating the monster. And after the dust settles, there it is. With its body completely shattered on the ground, he observes the scene and wonders if the beast is really dead. But the girl tells him to be careful and take a closer look. He gets a little closer to the carcass. Suddenly, he feels something strange. His fusion completely dissipates. You know this guy can't fly. So suddenly, he starts falling. He continues to fall, and the ground gets closer and closer. But suddenly, she grabs his shoulder and manages to rescue him. Then she lands nearby, still holding him in her arms. He looks at her, and they both blush. He thanks her while she returns to her original form. She just says that she's the one who should be thanking him. While they're talking, people shout the young lady's name and run to her. The guy thanks her and says he's okay. After the near-death experience, everything is back to normal. But suddenly, she grabs the guy's arm. But you do know that his sister is still in the shelter, right? She just says that apparently she should be safe in there. She starts to think that this guy apparently might be compatible with her and might also be able to use some of her power. But he also doesn't know. After all, it's the first time he's faced this kind of thing. She keeps looking at him while he's all awkward. Suddenly, she gives him a card. It's the card with her number. He can contact her anytime if he needs anything. He takes the card, wondering if he's going to be paid for this or what. She starts to say that he's precious. He has to be careful, while he says that she should be too. She says that she's definitely going to protect herself as well. Someone tells her that the master is looking for her. She takes out her phone and says okay, she's on her way, while someone down below is calling him despicable, ugly, a waste of texture. Wow, what an insult for ugly. Suddenly, she hands the guy her phone and the guy asks if she has any more instructions for him. She just says that he's fired. Wow, that's a shock to him. But he says that he's used to it. Relax, it's all good. She thanks him again and gives him a bonus card as a thank you. She asks him, please, to accept this gift. He takes the card in his hand and looks at it, then puts it in his pocket and leaves, thanking her still, waving his hand. As she watches him go, she thinks that this person is the key to breaking this deadlock. A little later, there he is in the room with his sister. He's putting hot compresses on her forehead. She, coughing, still says she's okay. While he asks if she was scared yesterday, he remembers the scene of her hugging him. While other people are saying that he's amazing, a hero who saved everyone. The guy from before kneels before him, saying that he's trash. Please, the Jong family has to fire him. And the Jong family actually fired that guy. Wow. The girl starts to say that she's always been protected by her big brother, yesterday and now. But he takes her hand and says that's what family is supposed to do. He smiles and says that he's going to make her favorite radish dish along with pork rib soup. Ah, now she gets excited. Someone knocks on the door, telling her to take her medicine properly. Outside in the hallway, everyone is waiting for him, and he gives a sheepish smile. Wow, what are these guys waiting for? Q is recovering from that craziness, trying to understand the situation. He asks the guy if it's because of the fusion with Miss Jong that he's here. The guy confirms it all polished, saying that he came for the young miss. But his face gives away that there's more to this stew. And soon enough, the mad scientist grabs Q, with his eyes shining with interest. But before the scientist gets too excited, a woman steps in front, and Q tries to get out of there. But she sees the scientist's intention. Study him. They'll want to dissect this kid. She throws him a look and then calls him to join the Shen family, saying that they are as powerful as the Jong and, of course, super generous like her. Q gets visibly flustered and awkward as the woman gets closer to him, almost clinging to him, and he turns red instantly, uncomfortable with all that closeness. The crowd, who stayed outside with the malicious gossip, think that this one-rune idiot hit the jackpot by being sought after by the Jong and the Shen, saying that his family wants to recruit a mere one rune, and that he must have sold his soul. Q hears everything. The thoughts of these people are pure hatred disguised as smiles. They call him scum, a lucky piece of trash. They think they'll use him and then throw him away. That one little favor doesn't change the fact that he's a nobody compared to them. Q opens his arms, putting on a show for everyone. Since everyone wants me, I'll evaluate each of your families one by one. His look is different, full of confidence now. He finishes with a sly smile, and then I'll choose the best option. The woman from the Shen family gets pissed, telling him to look in the mirror. You idiot, someone. Rune, nobody thinks he has a choice? The scientist also doesn't like that one bit. Q cuts them off. Let's get one thing straight. You're the ones begging me to join. He then turns to the Jong guy, deciding, and since Miss Jong was kind enough to invite me, I'll humbly accept a visit to the Jong family first and shake hands to seal the deal. But he already puts an important condition on the table. After all, his sister has a high fever and needs to take her to the hospital. The Jong guy agrees instantly, all solicitous. They'll arrange a car and take both of them to the Jong family's private hospital, while the Shen woman is back there with a face that's sucked on a lemon, all sour. They see Q leaving, and the Shen woman thinks, that kid, I can't intimidate him anymore. The door slams shut. He closes the door to the room, but hears his sister call out for him from inside. He gives a reassuring smile at his sister. Don't worry, everything will be all right. And outside, a strange raven lands on the window, watching everything. They arrive at the Jong base. The place is gigantic, imposing, and full of red lights. Inside, it's luxurious beyond belief. Everyone is well dressed with perfect manners. The Jong guy signals for him to follow. Please, come with me. Q follows, passing by the stylish crowd. A blue-haired playboy already unleashes his venom. What bad luck. How did a one-rune trash get in here? A cat-eared girl tells him to shut up. After all, that guy was invited personally by Administrator Sung. Even so, the playboy continues to grumble, calling him filthy. Then the penny drops. Wait, Administrator Sung, the one who works for Miss Jong? Q continues steadily with the representative, ignoring the scornful looks from the elite. Suddenly, an expensive shoe steps firmly. A new guy arrives in the area, all decked out. This is Master Kai, the representative for Administrator Sung. The guy arrives all playboy blonde. Master Kai is picking a fight with the representative. How do you let a nobody one rune in here? You're breaking the rules. Administrator Sung defends Caillou politely. Master Q, this guest came at the request of Lord Jong himself. Please excuse us. Master Q doesn't buy the story and goes straight for Q. This trash is the guest? The guy can't believe it. Administrator Sung tries to calm the situation again. Master Q, but Master Q cut him off instantly. Administrator Sung, it's cool. Master Q mocks Q. He taunts him, offering expensive wine. Here, have some bonus wine. Something a rat like you could never afford in your life. What a screw-up, man. Q stands there covered in wine in the shadows, and he gives a warning very quietly. You started this. Master Q shouts from afar. You're dead. Master Q releases a red aura, a pose ready for the attack, but Q doesn't wait and throws a precise punch at the guy's face. A punch lands clean on the playboy's face. Master Kui is in shock, not understanding, damn, why can't I transform? It seems the tables have turned once again. Now the protagonist goes on the offensive. He grabs the guy's shirt while he's sitting on the floor and prepares to throw some punches. But before that, he asks the guy to apologize. The guy says that's impossible. But the protagonist mercilessly throws a punch right in the middle of his face, saying he won't repeat it again, and lands another punch. And after the third, the guy, all battered on the floor, apologizes twice in a row. The protagonist gets up and looks at the guy, thinking that harem powers are weak without their abilities. They are nothing special. The guy gets up, now emanating a scary red aura, and says that he's going to die there and now. He starts to gather even more power in his hands with a terrifying aura behind him. The protagonist realizes that that red glow was the precursor to the transformation. The guy, with a horrifying smile, says that he's going to kill him now, but suddenly a portal appears behind him, and a terrifying giant wolf comes out of it, and apparently, I think the one who died was him. He's gone. The situation got really sinister with that wolf appearing out of nowhere. A dark wolf advances on Master Q's body on the floor. Q, the representative, was stunned. How the heck did a monster like that appear there, right in the middle of Jong territory? The guy can't believe what he saw. His face is pure terror. Fear hits the representative hard. He grabs Q by the arm, begging, "Mr. Q, we need to get out of here fast. Where are those powerful high rune guys? Why isn't anyone doing anything?" He tells Q the real deal, kind of disheartened, saying that having a bunch of runes on your resume doesn't mean anything. The guy says that to really transform runes, you have to grind. It's only training that turns power into real combat strength. AA. He sighs wearily, but training is tough. That's why most of these elite daddy's boys don't even bother with it. He barely finishes speaking when the wolf attacks again. In the blink of an eye, the guy pushes Q and takes the hit in his place, falling hard to the ground. Wow, the hit was fatal. The guy is there on the ground while the wolf doesn't stop, advancing towards them both. This seems to be really bad. But suddenly, look who shows up with a beautiful kick to the monster's face. Her kick connects squarely, pushing the wolf away with the force of the impact. That girl who arrived with a bang, huh? She lands in a grand pose in front of Q, all stylish, and turns to the wolf with a stern look. Ah, bad dog. While Q just keeps watching without understanding who this crazy girl is. She tells him that he should find a safe place to hide. While she's facing the wolf, Q seems to recognize her from somewhere, but his face is in total shock. A quick memory hits his head. Two broke kids being cornered by some guys in a dark alley. The flashback was fast. The wolf is pissed, growling loudly, ready to attack again. The beast comes with everything. It looks like a red-black blur running towards them. But the girl is prepared, showing off a sinister weapon, like a futuristic axe with technological details. Now the fight is going to get serious. She leaps into the air with the axe in hand, ready to detonate, while the wolf is coming, absorbing red energy as if it were nothing. The wolf hits the girl head-on and sends her flying away. The hit was so strong that she even dropped her weapon and fell right on top of the protagonist. Wow. Smoke came out, and after the smoke cleared, there she is on top of him. She gets up terribly flushed, and he is still confused. While the wolf now summons a pack of wolf cubs, he roars and commands all the wolves to attack everyone. People try to run, but no one can. Everyone is attacked by wolves. Suddenly, the wolves go for the two. She takes his hand, telling them to get out of there fast. Then a power emanates from both of their hands. Suddenly, all the smaller wolves are cut and sliced in the air. The wolf looks to see what's happening. Who killed his pack? And in the middle of the smoke appears a pink-haired guy and a huge giant axe. And look, they're quite cute. What transformation is this? He himself doesn't understand. Again. What was that this time? Suddenly, the miniature version of the girl appears again, thinking everything is very beautiful. Pink is so cute. Then, they decide to end it once and for all. He hears the chibi's suggestion and agrees. Kind of without a choice too, right? The wolf starts to absorb all the corpses of the smaller wolves on the ground, and then he summons them again. The protagonist realizes what he's doing. Suddenly, that pack of wolves goes in. While he stays standing still, suddenly he starts slicing all the wolves with extremely fast cuts. The wolves keep jumping and he keeps slicing. He thinks that if this continues, it will never end. He slices, two more in the air as he falls. As he's cutting, he asks the girl if she gets dizzy when spinning a little, but she doesn't even understand what he's talking about. And then she asks him to explain it to her better later. He imbues the axe now with both hands and says that when he's done with that demon wolf, he'll take his sister and her to the amusement park. He spins the axe with gigantic force, creating a whirlwind and shreds all the wolves there, while the wolf now starts roaring louder and louder. He, with tremendous anger, advances towards the protagonist and opens his mouth in the middle of that vortex while the protagonist says that now is the time. He stops very quickly and still uses all the force of the spinning vortex in the axe and throws the axe at the wolf. The axe passes as if it were nothing through the inside of the wolf's mouth and exits in his back. Then the wolf starts to completely disintegrate. He gets closer to know if he's really dead. Phew, it's finally over. And suddenly the fusion ends. The two separate. Then the girl jumped on him and says that they really won. She hugs him, clinging to him, saying that they are going to the amusement park. Then, getting closer, a girl asks if Q is okay. Suddenly she notices what's happening. Yeah, apparently this guy is doing well. Very well. That girl is Miss Luan. It seems the two are sisters, but the pink-haired girl is a few years older than the other. Yeah, doesn't look like it. The other one apologizes. After all, he went through a lot in there, right? She says that first they should see their parents first and then they'll talk on the way. While it seems that someone is watching the conversation from afar, the guy smiles, still taking his glass of wine. He looks to the side, while the girl tells him not to worry. After all, the Jong family will take care of the cleanup. After all that mess, a guy comes closer and says that the Jong family security will take and escort all the people out and will also give a complete explanation about that incident. Apparently that monster is the same one that appeared in the commercial district before. Both the commercial district and that area are protected by barriers. So why did the barrier fail? Was it his fault that the city's barrier failed? Maybe it's just a possibility, but the other girl tells him not to be afraid. After all, the two of them are there for him. Then they arrive at the hall where her father is. She touches the door and says that she brought Q and Luan, but suddenly is greeted with a cup of coffee right in the middle of her face. The other girl is pissed, while the old man asks everyone to kneel. The girl is already kneeling, while the protagonist grabs her arm. He thinks that this way of being is a game and giving him a cold reception. As soon as they enter the throne room, they're face to face with her father, sitting with a grumpy look, and without wasting time, the old man lays down the law, warning that this is internal family business and that outsiders have no business getting involved, and hopes that the order will be followed. She fires back, pointing at Q and saying that he's there because of her. Q, observing the girl's complaint, enters the conversation, saying that he never imagined that such a posh family like the Jong wouldn't even know how to treat people well. Then the old man loses it completely and explodes at Q, shouting that all those monsters only appeared because of him. Q and the pink-haired girl decide to leave that tense room, leaving the young miss behind with her stubborn father. He takes the first step out, maybe relieved to get out of there, but still kind of tuned into what's going on. The heavy door closes, separating them from the head of the family. End of the audience, at least for now. The pink-haired girl, that old man is so annoying, he didn't like the treatment one bit. The girl stands there with a face that's already used to the old man's ways, or maybe just thinking about the next fight. He thinks aloud, connecting the dots so Miss Zhang Yuan doesn't get along with him, right? Looks like he figured out the family feud. The pink-haired girl drops the bomb, explaining the reason for the tension. Her mother was led to her death by that man. The story behind it is tense, powerful, and rune-filled. The story of her mother is a sad portrait of these cruel traditions of the powerful families, showing an arranged marriage without caring about feelings. Q is bugged out by that information, maybe thinking aloud, arranged marriage. Shocked by that thing about marrying the cousin to maintain the family's power, the girl confirms the heavy past. The young Mrs. Mother was forced to marry her cousin, and after the daughter was born, her head couldn't take it and became unstable. And he finally understands the gravity of the situation, so that's how things are. The girl now starts to backpedal a bit. Well, it's not exactly a secret, but she thinks it's better if she tells him the details herself. Apparently, she doesn't want to get too involved, and then she throws the bait. Speaking of which, would you consider joining Group S? After all, the boss himself ordered her to make that offer. Q thanks her for the offer, but asks for some time to think. He doesn't want to decide anything under pressure. The girl has an idea right away, so maybe, want to go with her to an underground auction tonight? She's already arranged a program. Q gets a little embarrassed. She then throws the perfect bait. After all, his sister isn't in good health, right? She heard that an ancient jade will be auctioned off today and it has protective properties that nourish the soul. Maybe that object can help, right to his weak spot. Our boy immediately thinks of his sister and doesn't hesitate, so he's going. The girl asks if he has a suit. After all, that auction is a fancy auction. He replies that he does. After all, he bought one at an insurance salesman's interview at Tencent. What a name, And she cuts him off. Maybe that won't work. So tomorrow she'll take him to buy another one. He tries to refuse, but he gets all red. The idea of buying clothes together with her made this guy awkward. Look, he's already here all decked out. He looks embarrassed in the mirror, and the girl liked his new look. They're in a very chic store. She points to another suit. Why doesn't he take both? Wow, a natural spender. He thinks it's a huge exaggeration, but then an intruder arrives. Oh, isn't that Chef Lu shopping with her boyfriend? That guy has a playboy look and the woman clinging to him. I won't even tell you, but the girl doesn't even give the couple any attention. She already decides everything and tells the saleswoman to wrap up the purchases. I'll take everything. The saleswoman, who's not silly, obeys quickly. A blonde playboy doesn't conform, Didn't expect that Chef Lu liked a cute little boy. The girl doesn't care either. She already says that she's going to pay the bill. Now his face is pure hatred. He doesn't like being ignored. Oh, could that be Q there? His companion comes close, all sweet. Dear darling, trying to calm the beast or add fuel to the fire. What an idiot, he pushes her. The companion herself leaves. You have nothing to say here. And she flies backwards with the push, falling on the floor. Not even she expected so much aggression. The girl sees the scene and reacts, maybe with pity for the other woman or angry at the playboy. Out of nowhere, a redhead appears to help the fallen woman and she asks if she's okay. And the other thanks for the help, but the smile of that girl is bone-chilling. After all, she has very pointed teeth. Nothing good is coming. She gets up and already gives the playboy a piece of her mind. Scum. You continue to be scum. You only know how to intimidate the weak. And he goes crazy with anger. What are you calling scum? And he shouts, already going after her with everything. The woman he pushed is shocked, but she's quick. In the blink of an eye, she lands a kick right there in the balls where it hurts the most. Wow, what a scene, man. The playboy is now on the floor, writhing in pain after that kick, coughing and breathless. The redhead looks at him down there with total contempt, An idiot, she says without pity or mercy. He deserved it. Q watches everything from the front row, the playboy on the floor, the redhead putting on a show, and he thinks, this girl isn't bad, but what the heck. That sinister portal is opening again right behind the redhead, danger in sight. He recognizes that energy right away, that thing again. He thinks, panicking, and he shouts desperately to her, watch out, but it's too late. What a screw-up. Sinister tentacles come out of the portal and go straight for the redhead, and she didn't even see where it came from. The tentacles grab her. They grab the girl with everything, and she's trapped, trying to get free. It's over. The tentacles have captured the redhead for good. What a sinister power is that, man? But the protagonist grabs her ankle tightly, and the pink-haired girl was now at the cashier paying the bill, only now she's understanding what happened. In an act of pure reflex, Q throws himself to save the redhead and grabs her leg before the portal rises and the girl screams. It's over. The portal swallows both of them for good. The portal disappears and leaves only the threads of sinister energy behind, and the pink girl is left alone, lost in the store. In total darkness, suddenly he wakes up, or in a strange place, all broken, and complains of pain. He gets up and looks around confused with a strange place. Miss, are you there? We fell together. In the dark, she replies, yeah, I'm right here. At least he's not alone, right? He checks if the redhead is okay after the fall and says that luckily, the floor was soft. And she's all red, looking like a pepper. Someone put out this fire. Man, you're crazy. Her teeth start to grind and he finally realizes the problem, getting red with shame. Her hair turns into a yellow torch. The girl gets up, catching fire, literally with flaming hair and all. Q is thinking that this girl is crazy. She's literally on fire and shouts for nothing. Aren't you coming out? All right, I'm going to burn you from there. Who is she talking to, man? Q looks around trying to figure out where they ended up. It seems that monster dragged us to a special space, but why? Huh. She's planted on the ground, ready to attack and set fire to anything that appears. And suddenly, Q sees something. What a scare, man. And she is pulled down, and complains that she was caught completely off guard. And with her hair still on fire, she starts to get extremely angry with what she sees down there, and shouts without understanding anything. What is he doing? What the hell? It wasn't him. Now Q is trapped. Thorns came out of the ground and caught him head on. Wow. She looks and observes what is happening there and notices that he saved her. She imbues her hand with flames and starts to dissolve all the thorns that are in him. The thorns disappear and she gets closer to him, asking if he's okay. But suddenly, several monstrous arms begin to try to drag them. She closes her hand, forming a kind of magical cocoon, a shield against the arms, and asks him to wake up, but he's not doing well at all. Suddenly, he starts coughing a lot and opens his eyes, seeming to be very bad. She slaps him a few times in the face, asking him to stay awake and not sleep, but unfortunately, his vision starts to blur and his eyes start to close slowly. Suddenly, we are in a kind of dream. While he's there in the rain, several boys start kicking him. A guy steps on his head and asks what's wrong with him. While he's there on the floor, poor guy, all beat up, the people around him call him trash and love to do that kind of thing to him. Suddenly, he's all alone, dirty, hurt, with no perspective on life at all, but suddenly, a person approaches him. He looks up and there she is, a red-haired girl all blushing. We notice it because he was all huddled up holding a cake that he wanted to give as a gift to her, shangling, but suddenly she drops the umbrella and starts crying, seeing that he just wanted to give her a cake. He asks her not to cry, after all he's there, but suddenly he returns to normal while she touches his face and he touches her hand. And she just says that she's not worried about him, she's just afraid of being there alone while he tries to save her. But you know what happens when he touches a girl's hand, right? The transformation begins and they are imbued with flames, and from those flames arises a new overpowered transformation. A red-haired boy appears with strange ears. The girl doesn't understand where she is and what kind of power she's using. He says that it seems that he can merge with a superior rune and use her power, and this is his power, but she's still pissed. After all, he has to ask before doing that. Unfortunately, our protagonist doesn't know the conditions that triggered this state of power. After all, she's the third person with whom this happens. Wow, now she got pissed. Third? She's the third person. Ah, he's going to pay for this. Those arms are still trying to catch them. The shield is breaking all over, while he's there with his arms crossed, saying that they'll talk after getting out of there. Suddenly, the arms pass through the shield and try to grab him, but he just gives that sly turn and dodges extremely quickly, while the girl is pissed, telling him to stop dodging and end all those arms already. He keeps dodging the arms faster and faster, thinking that there are still many unanswered things and one of them is why her. He dodges faster and faster. While the girl is thinking about what the monster is thinking, and he's still dodging the arms, he asks, why were they dragged there instead of being killed outside? But the girl thinks she's too strong to be killed outside. While they're already with their hands imbued with flames, he throws the flames in a dark place while she doesn't understand what he's doing. Suddenly, those arms are attracted by the flame far away from them. What could have happened? In fact, that monster is captivated by the fire. This means that the monster captured her because she was attracted by the fire breath. Apparently, that monster wants to take her fire. He tells her to look up, and there they are. The place where all those arms are coming out of. It looks like a cocoon that appears to have a being inside that isn't complete yet. So, suddenly, he starts to form a dagger of flames in his hand and makes a huge jump, activating his crimson wings. He holds the sword tightly and imbues the magic energy of the flames in it and prepares to stab that monster. The sword hits the cocoon head-on and everything explodes, and in the middle of the smoke there he is, trying to see what happened. He was almost hit, and in the middle of the smoke someone says, "Ha, we meet again." An extremely strange being appears. Could it be a butterfly woman? The girl asks if he knows this woman, while he also asks if she knows this woman. While the butterfly woman shouts for them never to leave her again, several arms come out of her back, now trying to grab them. Wow, our MC is meeting one strange girl after another. Those arms pass extremely fast by him, but he manages to dodge them all. But something came to her mind for him to go to her. The girl thinks that she got involved with a pervert, and she didn't expect that he liked this kind of thing, and he gets embarrassed. The two flying and facing each other at the same time. While the girl asks if there's something wrong with her, she licks her lips, saying that she needs to find a way to make him go to her. She starts to fly extremely fast now, calling him Monarch, and starts to release a power from her mouth. Suddenly, several spider webs appear trying to hook him, but he starts to imbue his hand with a kind of magical power and starts to burn all those spider webs. The webs were burned completely, and now they completely turn into threads of ashes in the air. Wow. The girl realized that he can use dozens of times her strongest power, and he's not impressed at all. He now starts to activate the power of a sacred phoenix that arises behind him, and he starts to control that fire bird, and the bird now goes towards the woman. The woman now gets angry and says, "Ha, you monarch." Now she gets completely flushed, saying that that monarch has such a beautiful attack. Then she puts both hands in front, preparing to make her counterattack, and suddenly several stakes start to come out of the ground. Now the two powers collide in the air. The stakes against the flame, who will win? The flames are burning stronger and stronger, while the stakes are also growing. Yeah, it seems that the flames won't be able to hurt her. What are they going to do now? Well, apparently that's her territory, and the longer they stay there, the more advantageous it will be for them. So that means that she's trying to catch him. Maybe he can take advantage of that fact. What does he mean by that? Apparently his plan is simple, but it's also a gamble. He will show weakness and will be caught by her arms and taken to that butterfly girl. So when he's close, he'll untie himself and he'll be able to slice her. Thus he will accomplish his goal when she's not paying attention. Wow, but the girl didn't like that plan at all. It's too risky, but he said it was a gamble. The girl apologizes because she thinks it's all her fault. While he notices that the old man had said that those monsters were after him, he thinks that maybe it's not her fault. After all, it may be him. Anyway, they're going to get out of that damn place first. So those several arms are heading towards him again, and he realizes and lets himself be caught on purpose. She is fascinated. "Ah, Monarch, I caught you. Just come to me obediently." And she, with those several arms, brings him a little closer to her, saying that she has been looking for him for a long time, and back there, he's preparing his counterattack, imbuing a dagger in flames. Suddenly, he manages to cut all those arms at once and prepares to go all out on her. And he gives a blow that hits her head on, piercing her from one side to the other. While she stutters, Monarch, how?" Suddenly, he has a brief vision of her thanking him and telling him to have some tea. But suddenly, that monarch takes the tea and throws it on the floor while she's asking what's wrong. He kicks her, saying that she's just a young puppet of his. He says some strange names. If it wasn't for her being, he would have anyway. He wonders what this image is from now, while the butterfly girl catches fire. So that means that that girl really knows him, but she, dissolving all in the air, says that apparently she surpassed her authority. She thanks for the time she had with the monarch and that his flames burn all her sins. Apparently that space is collapsing and crumbling. Out of nowhere, the body of that butterfly disappears in the air, and the two are transported to the place they were again. The redhead girl hugs the protagonist, saying that he was very cool, and after that a rune appears, a totem of a rune in the air, a rune pattern. So that means that that doll is a pattern of wood rune? The girl was very happy, it seems that's right. Wow, that girl really survived that attack. No, that's not what she meant. She meant that there is a totem. A unique totem refers to a puppet that serves a senior rune specialist. Basically, they are usually divided into two types of service, the servant and the guard type. So they're thinking that that doll is like that too. Wow, very fun, isn't it? That little thing is like that too. Amazing. The pink-haired girl asks where that unique totem came from. He doesn't know either. He just brought her from there unconsciously. Wow. Apparently that unique totem has signed a contract with him and will obey him. But that totem has a terrifying aura and is very dangerous. The protagonist understands what that means and said that he will be very careful. While the girl is worried about them, he said that he won't tell her father anything. The protagonist thanks Lu. After all, he has to learn many things yet. Well, she's still very thoughtful, and again she throws the bait, asking if he wants to join her group. And he changes the conversation, saying that they're going to the auction tonight. And he starts calling her to go to the auction, while the other girl says that that guy is terrifying. She says that she told Jong, Yuan, and Hua that they were attacked, and then that monster took him to such a space. So the two of them are safe, and besides, he should change his tattered clothes that he's wearing now. Yeah, it seems she's right, and now everything is okay with that Jong family. She just called her and asked her, and she said everything was okay. Out of nowhere, the red-haired girl starts to laugh tremendously loudly, and everyone gets confused. What is this girl laughing about? She starts saying that that guy is still worried about the others, and judging by the frequency with which he has encountered monsters in recent days, they may encounter more luck, huh? Then, later that day, several explosions start happening in the city, and there he is, with a mermaid in his arms. Oh my god. He's running with a mermaid in his arms, while a giant paw tries to catch him, but that paw is totally different. It has an eye man. He looks back, and 2 hours before that fact at the auction site, the auctioneer starts saying that they meticulously prepared several rare items for them, and hope that tonight they find their own surprise. The auction is completely packed, and they are in the VIP room. He doesn't understand why everyone is dressed so formally for an auction, but the girl says that that auction organizer is treacherous. The other asks him to take a picture of whatever he wants, that her sister will take care of all the rest. The guy is shocked, while the other laughs a lot. But out of nowhere, the pink-haired woman says except for her and cut off the woman's buzz. What a shame, man. The other one consoles, saying that he has nothing to worry about. After all, she is recruiting him. The younger sister Yuan is the most powerful businesswoman she has ever met and is willing to pay a lot for him. She just tells him to show her that he's worth it. She continues taking her tea, saying that she's so envious of her little sister Yuan, that she also wanted to have so much money in her hands. The other shouts that she also wanted to be filthy rich. Ah, who wouldn't, right? The other starts crying, looking like a crybaby, saying that there will be more than 60 million weapons in that auction action and she has no money to buy them. She grabs the protagonist's leg and asks the boss to please pay some weapons for her. He tells her to let him go because he's broke, but she knows that Jong Yuan will give him money. And the protagonist tells her that that money is only for him and doesn't include her. And they start paying attention to the auction. What's going on back there? The auctioneer is excited, telling everyone to pay attention from now on. And they bring a covered cart, and there is the attraction of that night. They found numerous rare items, but they only found the first mermaid 30 years ago, and now the second has appeared. Wow, man. What is that? A mermaid being auctioned, poor thing. She looks grumpy. She gives a look at the protagonist while they from above observe her, and he notices a different aura coming from her. What is this guy? A magnet for women, man? The other says that it is. From time to time, there are such items like that. The other makes everything disgusting. Then it is explained to us that the phenomenon of assuming non-human characteristics is called atavism. She believes that he has seen this before during the fight of the superior rune users. They have animal characteristics appearing, and these animal characteristics are like the runes. They are seen as part of the power of King Yu. Some believe that the secret of King Yu's power can be found in those who have returned to their ancestors. The other only believes that it must be an excuse. They must only be after the beauty of that mermaid, while the poor thing is there in handcuffs, begging for mercy inside that box. Even though he is far away, he seems to be very close to that mermaid. Could it be that Luan and Jong Yuan didn't impose restrictions on what he could take, right? The girl says yes. Wow, is he going to want to buy that mermaid? Ah, he will use Jong Yuan's money to buy women, but maybe that's not what he's thinking. He's just thinking about saving her. Okay, she believes in her jewel. The auctioneer says that that girl is with the energy close to the 5th phase, and she is also quite beautiful, and her starting price is about 100 million. Then the bids start. 110 million, 130 million, 160 million, 180 million. People start to be shocked, and another offers more, while the other family offers even more. The girl on the side looted and asks what that room is. It seems that that room there is from the Quee family. Interesting. A family of lunatics. While the protagonist is checking his tablet, he is quite excited. Wow. He is a little worried. After all, he is spending a lot of money. Will he be reprimanded by Miss Jong Yuan? Yeah. That mermaid is doomed in the hands of the Quee family, otherwise they will be able to save her. Suddenly the price hit about 310 million. Wow. And he soon presses yes. The auctioneer now shouts, 310 million. I give you 1, the guy grinds his teeth. I give you 2, and I give you 3. The mermaid, poor thing, is discouraged inside, and the guy hits the hammer, finalizing the conclusion of the sale. Sold, finally. He got his first auction item. Yeah, we can say that the mermaid was saved, but suddenly something explodes. The explosion is so big that it even broke the windows of the room they were in. Several people there are screaming for help inside the rubble. Please, save me. But there's also a monster with a mouth full of teeth and horrifying tentacles. Unfortunately, look who was the first to be caught, the poor auctioneer. Suddenly, we see a giant squid monster with tentacles, with eyes on it, and the auctioneer up there all tied up, poor thing. What a hideous creature. The alarm starts ringing, signaling the monster invasion, and the monster starts roaring. People are in despair and start running all over the place, while the mermaid is still in the box, praying to be able to get out of there. The protagonist asks to save the people first. Then the glass breaks all over and they get out of there in the biggest hero pose except for him. Wow, what a height. Now that girl noticed that he is afraid of heights. Suddenly, they land gently on the ground, right in front of that giant squid. The girl with the axe said that she will be the first, while the others go and save all the people. The protagonist asks her to be careful and she goes for the monster, while the monster opens that mouth full of teeth, trying to bite her. He asks the redhead to get on with it, and they start running. And suddenly look where he is, near the mermaid, and the girl tells him to stay away. After all, she is going to destroy the water tank. Then she gives a strong blow. The water tank breaks and the water starts to come out. She tells him to take her, while she will give support to Luan. Then some tentacles will intercept her, but she manages to give 2 slaps on them, while asking the boy to hurry up and leave. Then she joins the fight against the giant squid. That beast seems tremendously strong and will not give up easily, and she tries to cut the tentacles, but it's very hard. The other also finds it very hard too, while the monster roared even louder. Suddenly, he gives a dry slap right on the back of the pink-haired girl and another slap on the redhead, throwing them against a building with tremendous force. The protagonist realizes that things are bad, while the monster is roaring. Wow. Now he is thinking that that girl cursed him, because she said that there would be a monster at the auction. They keep running from the monster, and the monster keeps running after them, while Lanyu launches with her tentacles trying to grab him, but they're still not succeeding. Suddenly, the monster almost manages to catch them, but he jumps at the last instant. The tentacle hits the wall head-on while he's dodging, and he jumps once again, and the monster doesn't give up. Will they be able to escape? Wow, this girl fainted in his arms, and he tries to wake her up, but without success, poor thing. Suddenly, she wakes up while he doesn't understand what's happening with this girl. Suddenly, she starts crying, and he looks at her, telling her not to cry. While he continues running with her in his arms, now she disarms, continues crying louder and louder. But out of nowhere, the transformation comes into play and the two start to merge. A completely blue transformation, and there he is, now in his Triton form, muscular. The monster doesn't understand what this guy is doing. Who is this guy? While he's there floating on top, and already the two are there. Apparently, that's the world seen from her eyes. While she keeps crying, not understanding what's going on either. He tries to console her, saying that everything will be alright. After all, that's just his fusion power. Either way, they need to defeat that monster first. She stops crying and says that she will try. Then she starts to lend all the abilities she has to him, and he starts to emanate a power coming from the waters. Now it's time to deal with the first monster, while they are fused, and only then they will separate again after the defeat of the monster. He starts to exhale a power from his hands while evoking a trident, and he tells the girl never to cry again. The monster goes on with his mouth full of teeth trying to eat them, and before he can realize, that eye of the monster is already right in his face. Wow. Tremendously fast, and he, with no reaction time at all, thinks that he has to do something fast. So he pokes the eye of the beast and channels all the power of the waters into that weapon. But he realizes that the eye of the trident is not piercing. The skin of that beast is very hard. Wow. Now, he has to escape from there. While the mermaid is thinking that if they merge, they will have a baby, isn't it? Yikes. Now she's all flushed. Wow. That's not what he meant, right? One of the monster's tentacles hits head-on right in his abdomen, throwing him away while the mermaid calls him husband, asking if he's okay. Yikes. Is it like that already? And he doesn't say anything, still recovering from the attack. Now even more pissed. Exhaling an extremely furious aquatic aura, he tries to calm down and starts his restoration. While she's there calling him husband, 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 are you okay? Oh my god. He just tells her to call him Kiyu. And she apologizes, sorry Kiyu. And she starts to say that this is all her fault. It was she who did this, while remembering her childhood. People said that it was she who killed her parents. She was a disaster palace. And others said that she only knew how to cry. She was complete trash. While she ran trying to be accepted, saying that that wasn't true. But among all the people, there was one person who loved her. While she wondered, is all this my fault? She starts to cry inconsolably, apologizing after all if it weren't for her. And back to reality, our protagonist consoles her while wiping her tears. He tells her to stop crying. After all, it's not her fault. She's also a victim. All they have to do is come back quickly and end that monster. The two together can deal with that monster easily, for sure. Just watch. Our boy is determined, exhaling that terrifying pressure. Suddenly, he makes a huge jump, looking like a rocket, getting faster and faster, going for that monster. The monster tries to use its tentacles, but nothing helps. He keeps advancing, going straight to the monster's mouth, which is already open, trying to eat him. He manages to dodge all the tentacles and grabs his trident. While the monster tries to defend himself but nothing helps, he launches a power right in the middle of the monster's mouth, and suddenly the monster stops screaming and stops talking. Wow, what happened? The girl is terrified. Did the monster eat him? She starts to cry, thinking that this is all her fault again. Wow, this guy is crazy. He's inside the monster, and he keeps advancing deeper and deeper inside the monster. Only inside there's a kind of giant worms embedded with blades that are trying to devour him. This means that there are monsters inside the monster. Wow, how disgusting. And those worms are ready to devour him. They try to attack him, but they can't even pierce his aquatic barrier. Apparently, this is not going to work. That he then advances determined, tearing apart, cutting out all the monsters there. But he knows there are many. Even so, he continues massacring everyone with his trident, while the girl finds everything scary, and with a single blow, he hits all the monsters at once. Then he stops and thinks, wow, this girl is so strong, despite crying so much. She apologizes and keeps saying that it's all her fault while crying. While he says that this is not true, why is she always blaming herself and crying? Suddenly, she has a flashback of her life where the matriarch was always fighting with her. Wow, this little girl is always causing problems for other people. The girl apologized, saying that she wouldn't do it again, but the old lady is very pissed, saying that she knew that if she caused trouble again, she would be punished. While the poor thing was on the floor begging for forgiveness, she cried and cried a lot. She kneeled and asked for forgiveness while the lady was picking up something that looked like pearls. Unfortunately, she was left several times in a prison as punishment, and suddenly she saw a being all suited up. Was it the protagonist's vision? But out of nowhere, that vision disappeared. She grew up, the years passed, and she apologized every time, but suddenly a huge bright pearl was presented to her, and she couldn't understand where it came from and what power it was. And there he is saying that he just bought that luminescent night pearl and she should take it. She takes the gift and is very grateful. While the protagonist is there talking about nothing, is he manipulating her dream? Well, finally, our protagonist found what he was looking for inside the monster. He looks up and realizes that the monster's weakness lies in that cocoon, red pulsating. Now he understood. Since it's difficult to destroy a monster from the outside, he will destroy it from the inside, reaching its core. Exactly, a brilliant tactic. And he tells her that she looks more beautiful smiling. Did you know? Of course, we only see this girl crying. So he starts again to exhale all the power that was granted to him by her. He forms an aquatic vortex and flies towards the center of the monster. While the monster's heart pulsates, he hits the trident right in the middle and hits it again, and now activating the vortex. The monster feels a sinister pain and roars from the outside. Everyone who was out there is terrified. What is happening? And now the monster stops attacking who is out there and starts to writhe, all in pain. And suddenly he explodes and a vortex of water comes out from inside, and together with that vortex, our protagonist overpowered mermaid mode. The girl observes that guy while he says that he is back. Wow, he really managed to defeat that monster from the inside out. The girl steps firmly, but before running towards him, she wonders, wait a bit, why are they still merged, huh? And he also asks that mermaid girl, why is that, huh? She also doesn't know, telling him, well, that's very strange because he also can't undo that fusion. The pink-haired girl asks how he undid it the previous times. He also doesn't know. When the monster died, the fusion was only reversed, that's all he knows. In other words, is the monster still alive? He looks back and realizes that that monster is being dissolved. Yeah, it seems it's not alive. Well, if they can't undo, what is happening then? The girl says that he needs to find a solution quickly and calls him husband again, husband. The three are shocked. So, a little later in the scenic room, they are going to do some tests and do some experiments to see what is happening with this guy, while the three girls look closely at what's happening. Another says that this is very strange, maybe they should change positions. So, they change places, while the other says that Kiyu is seriously injured, so no one needs to worry. After all, he only needs to rest, and they also need to rest too. The girl Lu says that the children have to have a good rest. And Rua is terrified. Wow, Lady Lu is like that when it comes to someone she likes. Okay, then she'll go first. That one there is the protagonist's sister. Poor guy, man. He's remembering her and starts crying. I think that his emotions are mixing with the mermaid's emotions because she is a crybaby. Suddenly, Legsane asks over the intercom what's happening. She can come in. And already in the room, the specialist tells her that they have reached some solid conclusions after several analyses. And Mr. Kiyu is just a common man, okay, covered in scales and gills. I don't think so, my brother. Unfortunately, they couldn't detect anything about the mermaid with whom he merged. Now, she tells the guy that she understood and dismissed him. Suddenly, she observes that that guy is crying. Is it because of the mermaid? Well, he's crying and doesn't know why, but he knows that that mermaid cried a lot, so when she starts crying, he also starts crying. So, he returns again to the world where the mermaid is. He asks her what happened because he was talking to them a while ago. She apologizes and says that when she's in that space, she can't help but think about the past, poor thing. And he asks her not to worry. After all, he will find a way to reverse the fusion. So, Can she send him back? He says that after merging with her, sometimes she dragged him to that mysterious space. There, he can see her and touch her. And time in that space passes very slowly, and he can't stay there for very long. The girl starts to think that maybe this is one of her abilities, probably. Wow, the guy started crying again. This mermaid girl has very strange abilities. Maybe it's because the fusion has deepened even more. Will it be? The girl starts to check the exams. It's possible. Until now, scientists believe that mermaids are a kind of atavism, so it wouldn't be surprising if they had some special ability. She remembers that superior humans show animal characteristics when they fight, and also remembers her fusion with Kyu and his other fusions too. Now Rue said that maybe they couldn't reverse the fusion due to the mermaid's atavism. Yeah, apparently it's quite possible. In other words, if we help Lan Yu to go home, they can reverse their fusion, right? Suddenly, they show an image of his younger sister, while he says that she doesn't need to worry about her older brother and she is to rest. The girl is worried. The girl asks her brother not to forget to eat and then we'll see him later, and hangs up the call. That girl is still very worried about her brother. Unfortunately, she can't help in any way. She's just delaying, dragging him down. That's the thought she has, but then that totem comes close to her to console her, while she says that the older brother would be happier without her. So, a little later, in that city, there he is, hooded to hide his aquatic features, together with the redhead woman. You know that this redhead doesn't have the face of many friends, right? While the guy is crying, some people start to say that this can only be domestic violence. Poor thing, he's walking around crying. Wow. The woman can't believe she heard that. People are saying that she abuses him and makes him cry. He thinks that this is also domestic violence. Poor thing, she gets awkward, saying that Jong Yuan and Luan are so unfair. Why don't they send Lan Yu home? Unfortunately, the Zhang family has a lot to resolve, so she had to leave first. The other also gave the same excuse, that she needs to go urgently. Bye-bye. When she puts it that way, it's really a bit bad. Are they avoiding something? Suddenly, a luxurious car stops in front of them, and now a red carpet comes out of nowhere. A guy gets out of the car and goes to open the door. From inside, there comes a well-dressed guy, all stylish, seems to be someone important, huh? He touches the protagonist's shoulder and comes closer. Wow, maybe a little too close. What was that kiss for, human? Did he think he was a woman? Busted. Wow, the guy is getting closer and closer. Is he trying to give him a kiss? This pervert. Suddenly, the protagonist gives him a hook, but he dodges. While the protagonist tells him to stay away from him, and when he's going to throw another punch, the girl says it's the father, but soon he closes his mouth. Wow, father? An old man gets all emotional, and out of nowhere, the protagonist also gets all emotional. Daddy, oh my daughter. The son. Is that guy Luan's father? Yeah, apparently it is. Suddenly he tries to give the protagonist a hug, but the protagonist dodges, while the old man says that he can call him Uncle Luan. Okay, Luan, right now. That Miss Jong has already told him everything, and when they get home, they will talk more. So a while later in a luxurious mansion, there they are, and he gets totally disbelieving. How was that girl kidnapped? Poor thing, man. She all embarrassed says that she went out hidden and got drunk accidentally. Yeah, I know how that is. He keeps quiet, and already inside the mansion, the old man says that so the main goal is to undo the fusion, isn't it? The protagonist says yes. The old man shows a portal, and apparently he only needs to pass the test. What does doing a test have to do with undoing a fusion? Basically, by passing the test, he must learn to control his power, and that in itself should undo the fusion. He feels that it is some form of a hack, but it seems he has no choice. He will have to do it. Yeah, the old man is counting on him to undo the fusion. Everyone says that that test was left by the Ghost King for the Tritons. Just touch the door and he can enter. An old man is afraid. Maybe they should prepare a little more, but the protagonist says that there is no need. Just wait for him there, that everything is fine. So he starts his entry into the portal, and suddenly he starts to disappear. The redhead is in disbelief. Is he really Luan's father? But his face gives away that it really is. The guy is so emotional. Who did the daughter get this from? So there he is in the aquatic underworld. That test seems so scary, but the girl doesn't know. She never dared to take this test. Will this test work? Well, she heard that it consisted of 3 stages. He starts to observe everything, and suddenly everything starts to get very hot. Out of nowhere, an explosion of fire comes extremely fast, and he realizes that if he doesn't get out of there, he will get burned. So, he starts to get out extremely fast along with several animals that are also going away. Wow. The first test is pure physical resistance. While he runs, out of nowhere appears a giant axe, as if it were a trap for him to pass without being cut, logically. Now he understood how everything works. He passes the axe extremely fast, while the volcanic lava destroys everything there, and he is already far away. Suddenly, another explosion of lava happens closer to him while he is getting faster and faster. Out of nowhere, another explosion. Running is not enough anymore. He has to jump. He starts running faster and faster while several explosions happen behind him. A mere test of physical resistance will never be a match for him. After the danger passes, he is exhausted as expected of him. Out of nowhere, that girl pulls him into her space again and grabs him, saying that he is an amazing husband. Ah, if it were her, she would have failed so long ago. But he, totally flushed, says that it is not quite like that. So apparently a new test begins. A vortex of water forms under his feet and energy accumulates. Is this the second test? Wow. A being made completely of water appears. It appears to be a clone of himself. The clone has already told him to fall inside. Yeah, now this is getting interesting. A fight against himself. Will this clone cry too? I don't think so. The guy is already coming with the water whip and passes the whip, and the protagonist grabs the whip, asking if that's all he has. Then the clone smiles and jumps the whip. Suddenly, that whole whip starts to completely disintegrate, and another vortex now starts to accumulate, leaving our protagonist there in the center. While the clone now concentrates to give the final blow, suddenly a protagonist comes out from inside there, and the clone is shocked, and he gives an elbow right in the middle of the clone, throwing him away, accompanying him still. Then suddenly he comes with a kick right in the middle of the clone's belly with a monstrous force. The clone hurled away explodes, hitting against a rock. Yeah, it was already for that clone. He melts all. Finally, they manage to pass. So now his aura starts to emanate, and suddenly the fusion starts to undo. It seems that the girl really returned to her physical form. Now finally, since she returned to her physical form, she can touch him. Yeah, that's right. So after a while, the dust settles, if there is dust there, and there they are in a totally strange hall, and she a bit embarrassed. Still, poor thing. He asks what's wrong with her, but she touches his shoulder and hugs him. Apparently that's her memories. Unfortunately, it's an illusion of the judgment, so that means that she appeared because of the judgment. It seems that it is not dangerous there. Here it comes, starting to cry again. It seems that that is the third test. Is it mental? So, a huge corridor appears, and she remembers the memories of Aunt Jang. That aunt always tortured her, and exactly in that memory, the aunt was asking what she was doing wrong, while she repeated, trembling, "I shouldn't have." And the aunt became impatient with a horrifying look. The aunt started shaking the girl, saying that she shouldn't have asked for more nannies. Wasn't it enough? Suddenly, the aunt hugs her, saying that she is the only one who loves her more. Dear little Waylon. The aunt wipes her tears and asks if she wants to have lunch. She says yes. So that means that children need to eat plenty of vegetables to get stronger. That's what she will do. The girl starts to say that only the vision of the judgment is unbearable. She can't take it anymore. Suddenly, the aunt asks who is there, and our boy appears, saying that that girl didn't even say what she wants to eat. The aunt smiles and then starts to let out a horrifying laugh, saying that the girl is just a child and doesn't know anything. Out of nowhere, the old woman turns into a monster with wings and a black-red aura around. It looks like a bird with a human head. Wow, what a strange being. And the girl runs behind the Triton, and suddenly, that old woman starts to launch a power on him, several feathers embedded in magic power. But he only extends his hands and starts to exhale a power, also forming a barrier that she cannot penetrate. Why does this guy always ignore this old woman? She is the only one in the world who really loves her. But suddenly the old woman notices that the girl is saying that no, she doesn't love her. That is not love. While the girl remembers that that lady totally controlled her, and when she didn't do something that the old woman didn't like, she was imprisoned and manipulated. None of that was love. She forced her to eat several bad things every time. She looks deep into the eyes of that old woman and says that there are several people who love her. While the transformed being calls her name, Waylon. Wow, this sentence sounds a bit strange now. She starts to say that that man there is her husband and loves her very much, but forgot to say that he doesn't know about that part either. Now the old woman got disgusted and her eyes changed completely. She goes for the guy, saying that if he touches her with just one hand, she will kill him, but unfortunately her attack is not successful. A huge smoke of mud forms down there, and there he is inside a barrier. The old woman starts to gather more power and asks him if he knew that mermaids can control water through their emotions, and she gathers even more power, getting more and more angry. While the protagonist looks at her and smiles, did you know that water can also cut? The old woman grinds and tells him to fall inside. Suddenly, she doesn't wait and goes for him. The protagonist smiles, telling her to stop depending on others, that she should also get angry, shouldn't she? The girl looks at him. What? Get angry? Yes, she can get angry. So she tries to concentrate, closes her eyes, and suddenly opens them now with anger, while the being is close to her. She starts to use her aquatic vortex, embedding that being all with cutting waters. That's it. Our story ends here. The protagonist has the power to use the power of others. Is that right? Well, I just keep thinking if he could merge with everyone at the same time. And about the husband, how many wives does this guy have? He's a magnet, isn't he? I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for my next video.